Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. My name's Brian. That's my brother Adam, and we are the Factional Fight Brothers. We're back in Wurm Online. We're excited to be back after being off last week. But what have we been doing? We've been sitting in our labyrinth, and we've been working as hard as we can to try to finish the whole thing. And we are so close and excited to show you what we've been up to. So join us. We'll show you our labyrinth. We'll play a bit of Wurm Online, and again, we'll discuss all the topics in the world of Wurm Online as well. So stay tuned. All right, thank you everyone for joining us. We are here in our minds just like the last episode, but we are excited to tell you guys one thing. We are finally finished the entire mine, other than support beams. And again, the entire mine is complete, other than support beams. I'm going to assume that we need a few hundred support beams, maybe 300-ish. I'm not quite sure, but we just wanted to kind of complete and show you guys what we've been doing. I don't know, what can you explain, Adam?
Well, we are at the bottom of the first drop. So this is where a person would enter the mine. And we're going to show you sort of what we've made. This room is like supposed to be just a massive room. I don't know.
We were making this last episode, and it's finally done. So I love the way that it turned out, in the sense that this bridge was just supposed to be, you're supposed to feel like you're in this giant room, and the fact that I can't see the bottom of it looking this way is kind of crazy. I like the way that it turned out.
And then over here is supposed to be a leap of faith. Like we wanted this to be like a big drop.
I wish it was darker.
Yeah.
Again. But yeah, I could see the bridge from that side. Whoa.
Now this could have gone down further. I was thinking about it, and I thought, I don't want to make it so that this climb is too big, but I wanted it to be a climb.
Whoa. Look at that. That's crazy.
I think that everybody should be able to make this climb.
Yeah. And we don't want to show up off everything. We want people that would like to come to the labyrinth to be able to discover it for themselves. So hopefully not too many spoilers right now for those people. We do want to show just kind of the way that it finished. Like, I love this room. I love seeing just how tall it goes. It's like, where does that go? I don't even know.
Now you might be wondering, how are we going to get away with not showing you how to solve this? But what you don't know is that there's still a secret exit that will be closed off before
we haven't closed off
that
yet.
Secret exit. Yeah, we haven't closed it. It's like our our construction shaft, where we brought all the materials down. It's like our backdoor exit into the whole place.
I do feel like this is still my favorite room. I loved the way that, I don't know, it was designed. In my head, I had this pretty much pictured, and it turned out exactly the way that I thought it would. The way that the walls, each door just looks like a door to somewhere. Each one is particularly different in its construction. And when you go through, you realize, wow, it's a much bigger room than I thought. It's a much bigger door than I thought. More room.
So wait, where are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so
anyway,
we're going to just go through one of these doors.
This puzzle. Okay, well, we're gonna skip this color. Maybe if I do this. Whoa, you can't see me. No, that doesn't work. Anyway, some of this won't be there.
Here's the thing. Going up this way through the regular stone will not be a way that you can get out for sure. So if you watch this
Maybe
video
that's
and you're
too
stuck in the
much of a
labyrinth,
clue.
don't choose the regular stone.
No.
door.
That's
just gonna lead you back to the beginning.
let's not do that. And instead, you can pick whichever way that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let's get out. So assuming that you get through the puzzle, you'll eventually make it out.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, we won't really say much. Won't kind of say where this is going.
Yeah.
I've been debating whether we should put together a series of videos that deals with kind of like the walkthrough of the labyrinth.
I think that would be a great series. Yeah.
It's more for people that don't want or don't have time to come here and actually go through it themselves. Like even with, a throwaway character or something. They can just watch the video.
Or it could be for people who get stuck. Like, you can go and try the labyrinth by yourself, but you know that there's these walkthroughs that we put together that could help you through certain parts if you get stuck. So that way you don't feel like, come here and get stuck for hours.
Yeah, tell me what you guys think about that idea. Maybe we can put something together. Maybe I'll get Adam to go through the whole labyrinth since he doesn't really know what's going on.
Totally. I totally like to do those because I'd be learning because I have no idea how to solve this thing. I'd be wandering around aimlessly.
I can start seeing some of the things that we have to complete, but there's not that much to complete. A few bridges here and there, really small ones, and we decided maybe a few weeks ago to change the way that we wanted to end the labyrinth and begin the labyrinth. And we thought of some really cool idea where we could begin the labyrinth in a house, a small house, which has like a small story, kind of like the movie, and the house would emerge into the labyrinth. This is not initially how I planned it to be, but then I thought, okay, if we do that, then we can end the labyrinth in the same house that's in a different location. Just like in the movie where she pretty much ends in her house, back in her house, and everything's
right.
Good. So because of that, we need to build the house. So here's a little area at the very back. We were going to construct the house, and we're kind of going to do this not following too many rules. I did a few designs, and I know I want it to be a 3x3, but other than that, and maybe like some timber would be nice. But really, other than that, there's not really much I want it to be. Just make it look nice. Whatever we do here, we'll just duplicate it in the front. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Okay, so let's get to work. So the wagon is over here. All the supplies are ready to go.
You're really breaking up, but I'm pretty sure you said that all the supplies are here. It's okay if you're breaking up. Let me just talk for a bit. We do have a bunch of supplies in this wagons. We do want to get to talking. We have had a bit of internet issues, which is one of the reasons why we did not have an episode last week. We actually sat down and we were in the process of playing, and we had everything going and working, and for some reason Adam's internet just doesn't want to cooperate. It just died. No video, no audio. Audio wasn't even working. It was kind of strange, but we're hoping that it gets a bit better. So let's get started. I'm going to assume that this is going to be the front on this side. We'll have maybe some kind of entrance. What do you think?
Sure. What are we making this out of again?
Let's do the bottom level of timber would be okay.
All right.
A nice wooden house. Nothing too fancy.
So, I am not prepared for timber,
What do we
to
have?
be honest.
What do we have?
We have sandstone. We do have beams,
Yeah.
but don't have grass. Let me see here. Let me see if I can scrounge up some things.
And while you scrounge out a few things, I want to bring up a topic that I found interesting on the forums these last few weeks. I'm not sure how to pronounce this person's name, but Iberis?
Is it?
Iberis?
I think it's Iberis.
Iberis. So this person wrote a forum post called "The 9 Things That Blew My Mind," and we both read through this on different days, and there were definitely some things that blew my mind reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And it came, I don't know, it made me think about all the things going through our Wurm careers. Just what, you can't learn everything in this game. This game takes a lot of just, I don't know, you're just kind of getting through it each and every day, and you seem to learn something new every single time that you play it. And there's a lot of things that you just never know. You never learn because, things about cooking, for example, I would never really know the ins and outs of because I don't cook. And there's just a lot of small little things like that. And I feel like different people go through the game and they learn different things about it that might blow the minds of somebody else at different points in their Wurm's careers. And some of those things have happened to us, where all of a sudden we're just sitting there going, wait, you can actually do that? What? Like, I've been doing it this way the whole time. And so I want to go through this list, if you guys didn't actually read this forum post, and bring up some of ours that we thought of that blew our minds when we were playing, and hopefully that you guys can join and tell us what your Wurm revelations were that blew your mind when playing. So the first thing on this list was Fire Pillar, and this seriously blew my mind just reading it. I had no idea that this was a thing. But you can essentially go underground in a cave, and you can type in this console window. You can type Fire Pillar.
Hold on one second.
Can you do it above ground?
I think
essentially what happens is if you're underground, it creates a lava tile on that tile above you. So you can essentially find out where you're standing underground, where it's like the same tile above ground would be.
Okay.
By just typing Fire Pillar. So if I just type that, look at that.
Does it work right now?
Holy Christ.
Fire Pillar?
Yeah. But this only works, or this is only done on your personal client. So it doesn't actually put anything down there in the game. You're not affecting the game servers in any way. If you log out and back in, this won't look like this anymore. If Adam types Fire Pillar, I won't see anything on his screen, and he won't see this tile on my screen, on his screen at all.
Right, and I made one over here, but you won't be able to see it.
I can't see anything. So, but that would have been perfect for needing to know where you want to exit out of a mine. I remember we kept counting things. We kept counting above ground and below ground, and this would have helped a lot more. So yeah, that kind of blew my mind.
Right, you mean like you can be underneath in a cave and cast this, and then you'll be able to mark
Yeah,
the
where you
land
are
tile that you're
up time. Up.
I've never actually used that, but I counted tiles before.
Yeah, we've definitely counted tiles before.
But I definitely, the next time that I need to do that, I'll use Fire Pillar.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's see if you can do it twice.
So I have some bad news. We have no clay.
Oh no, I can't do it twice. I guess the bottom level will be something else now. What did you say we
have
had?
pottery or sandstone.
Pottery it is.
All right.
A nice pottery house that's still like a decent type of house, I guess.
Yep.
Anyway, how about the second one here, Adam? You want to take it?
So the second one is server hopping. So I believe that this is where you can exit a server off of one coast and somehow make it back onto the other side of the coast. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Like, okay, so I'm going to read it here. If I'm leaving the south coast of Deliverance, how do I end up on the south coast of Exodus? Right? So like, let's say you want to get to, I don't even like, do you understand this one?
Here's the thing about this one. It's a little outdated, I think, considering that you can just right click and say you can just right click like when you're on a boat and sail to any server that you want now.
Right, but I think that this is including that. Like, if you're able to, let's say, so for example, let's say you want to go off the south coast of Deliverance and you want to make it to the south coast of Exodus.
Yeah.
There's a way to do that. If you go south coast to like a different server like Celebration, and you're on the north coast of Celebration, and then you come back to the
right
and go north towards Exodus, and you'll end up on the south coast of Exodus. Like, you can
Correct.
use this method to get to any sort of coast that you want for any server
side
that you want.
That's true. Yeah, you could leave Deliverance and you can go to, I don't know, somewhere else. Celebration, go to the north of Celebration, and then just go up north and
Turn
say
around,
you want to go back up north and say you want to go to Exodus, and you'll be on the south side of Exodus. And that's just the way that the servers work, or the system works right now. If you're traveling north to on a server, you're going to hit the south of the next server.
Right. It never worked that way. It used to always be like, if you were on the south coast of Deliverance and you went south, you would always be on the north coast of Exodus.
Yeah.
Like, they were connected in that way. But then they added the system, which was, what is it called now? You right click your boat and it's, see here, I don't use this system very often.
I haven't used it yet. I've only heard about it. I don't travel that
this is
that
like
much.
this is an area of the game that we just don't really use very often.
We don't travel that often, but I'm sure somebody could tell us what it's called.
You right click your boat and you like set sail to certain certain server, and you can use that mechanism and just coming back and forth across to get to any coast that you want.
Yeah, this one wasn't entirely mind-blowing for me. It was something that when I read about the new system in place, I just assumed that you could do that. It was just something that I worked out in my head, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just like, I guess you could pretty much go anywhere you want now.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it's the same here. The next one was demolishing a house.
Okay.
So I guess this person was saying that they, to get rid of a house, they would just destroy the walls. And then they learned that, you could just press the demolish button or the destroy button or whatever it was before the permission system that we have now, and just say, get rid of the house. you would right click before you would right click the writ, and you would be able to destroy house from the writ.
Right.
And, going into the settings, now there's no writs, so you just go into the permission systems, manage all the houses and be able to destroy or demolish the house, which is great. And it's something that I didn't that I've always known, but something that I didn't always know was being able to destroy a house on your deed that you do not own. I thought that wasn't possible for the longest time. It was just going how do you destroy a house?
The walls?
Yeah, and the only way to do it is if you're the mayor of this village, you can bash the walls still, even though you don't own the house on your own deed.
Interesting.
That is the only way to do it, is to bash the walls at that point, because you don't own the wall. You don't own the house. Okay. How do you get rid of a house you don't own that's on your deed? And the only reason why I know that is because of Autumn Twilight. So when we were there and we had to bash down somebody's house on our own deed,
right,
that somebody else built.
Speaking of, I have to put you on the permissions of this building.
Yes, please.
And let's get started building, because
let's do something cool, like...
Okay.
You want to do like a porch area?
Okay.
Not really a porch area, like a one tile in the middle.
We're gonna have to put stairs, right?
Yeah.
Going up to the second story. So where are those stairs gonna be?
That's gonna be tough.
Like a spiral staircase, like over here in this corner.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
Okay, and then the front door will be like right here.
We could do like archway right here into the house.
Okay, so an archway to a porch area.
Yeah, this will be a porch area, this tile, and we can have either the front door this way or a front door this way.
Okay. And
you want a side door, front door, or a front door?
So we'll make the porch area these two tiles, and then the third tile will be inside the house, leading up with a spiral staircase here.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay. And this is all pottery.
Yes.
All right, let's go on.
Can we do T tiles? Would that look cool?
What's T tiles?
The T tiles. The T walls.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The arch.
Yeah.
Arch T.
So we decided to do pottery bricks, and we decided to do... Let's take a look. So pottery, arch T.
Okay.
And we need fence bars. You brought some, right? Yeah, we got some.
There should be fence bars, yes.
Perfect. All right, so what was the next one on the list?
The next one on the list actually blew my mind, was combining items. Where you were able to, like, we always combine items by like activating an item and then right clicking it with another item, combine the two. But if you have like a massive stack, if you have like 70 70 cotton that you want to combine into one, you can activate one and you would right click the top one, like the main category. Like that would be like cotton, and then all the cottons in.
I remember when this was told to us. And it was quite a bit after we started the game. But here, I'll give you an example. So if you wanted to, you could hold shift and you can select all of them, and you can highlight one of them and then combine all of them. Sure. But if you have so many, you could just highlight any one other than the first one.
Right.
For some reason, you can't do the first one, but any other one, you activate it, and then you right-click the whole stack right here, and you can combine it all.
Right.
Just like that. I don't know why you can't do it with the first one.
Yeah.
But
I don't know why
maybe
you can't do
because
that
when
with
you
the first
right-click the stack, it chooses the first one. So it's like choosing itself sort of thing. So it can't combine itself with
Could be.
itself. But it's it seemed to work. Kind of blew our minds back in the day.
And you know what?
It's true.
The next one, it combines really nicely with the next one, because another one thing that blew my mind was that you could make a keybind that selects and combines. So if you want to repeat this action over and over again, you could make a keybind for activate, and you can make another keybind for combine.
Really?
Yeah, and you can just use those in conjunction with. Like, keybinds blow my mind because all the time I think of new things, ways of doing things that will make it go faster or easier. Like just the other day, I made a new keybind for climbing up and climbing down. Specifically because of that mine. Because of having to use that mine climbing up was like getting
Is it just
out
a
of control.
climb keybind?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I think
Maybe
there's a
they could
keybind
make
for
it.
climb up and a keybind for climb down.
Why would there be a keybind for climb down? Oh, you're talking about the stairs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the ladders.
Ladders. That's right. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I kind of remember hearing about those keybinds, and I never really had a use for it at the time. But I mean, if you have to climb tons of ladders all the time, then yeah, they'd be very useful. Nice. How's it looking?
Good. Should we do it over here as well?
Yeah, let's do one more. You have the fence bar? I got it.
What is it? Pottery Arch Tea.
So here's one that, I mean, we didn't know because we never had the ability to do this, but lava actually kills veins.
You know, I heard about this when we were making the boat mine, and we had tons of veins, and somebody mentioned this, but I didn't know anybody who had a power, or what is it? Path of power?
I believe they say it here. Path of power, yes.
Yeah. So the idea is, I think, that if you do lava or it's lava, which is like an ability that you get from meditate. Is it meditation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The path of power, the paths.
Right. Path of power.
Yes.
What level is that path of power ability?
Probably one of the high ones.
And so the idea is that you have to go above ground and lava the tile that is exactly on that tile of the vein. I think it kills the vein somehow.
Yeah. I think when the lava goes away,
right,
it turns that vein into just rock, apparently.
Right. So it cools down. I wonder how long it takes to cool down.
Probably shorter amount of time than it does to mine it all out.
Right. And you can do one of those every day, I think. So you can kill those things. Man, it beats having to mine them out.
Yeah, we still don't have the ability to do this. I don't think we will eventually have this ability at all, but
no.
That's kind of crazy that you can do that.
Yeah.
Does it make you want to start a Path of Power character?
How long would it take to get there? I really don't know what the level is. I think it might be 11. Or is it 9?
A year? I don't know how many months could that be.
Could be half a year.
They just lowered that, didn't they?
Did they? Or was that just on Epic?
I can't remember now.
I think that was just on Epic. So what do we want here? We want a window?
Yeah, sure.
Or an Oriole?
We could do whatever you want.
Let's make it a window.
Not picky.
Okay. It's going to be a window into a staircase.
All right. That's fine. So the next one on the list was inventory groups. And I have to say that we know about it because we were around when that patch note came in, when they decided to add this to the game. And it was a big deal at the time. I remember it just being like, they're actually going to allow us to organize our inventory. It's just a big mess right now. And it shows how much I've done it. Like, I do have it here. I do use them, as everyone can see every week. But let's use walls here.
Yeah, I'm putting walls.
But I don't necessarily keep my inventory more organized. But let's say it was a big deal when it came out.
Okay.
They made a big splash. And then maybe people just forgot about it. People stopped talking about it. It's not something that you talk about that often to people. So anybody that came into the game after, or maybe used to play and skipped over that brief period where they added it to the game, do you think those people just didn't know about it? It wasn't something that was ever brought up. It's not something in any kind of, I don't know, game mechanic, game tutorial thing that people talk about. It's just something in the game that you either have to stumble over.
I remember not even using it for the longest time. Like, they said that it's in the game. It's like, okay, but I had my own way of already organizing everything, so it took me a while to adjust to that one. But I started using them, and it has changed my life for it in terms of my inventory. Makes everything quite organized.
And
I have everything boiled down into like 3 or 4 different categories.
You wonder how many of these things, these small little convenient changes, have come into the game, make a big splash when they come out. People love it, and then people just stop talking about it. And if you're a new player, you're reading these old tutorials, and these old tutorials don't really say anything because it wasn't in the game. And then players these days just either take it for granted or they just don't bring it up. There must be like a ton of these things, just little changes, that you kind of have to discover yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
maybe
is this
that's
going to
why
be a
this
wall
one's
as
on
well?
the list. Yeah, let's do walls. Just so that people can't see the castle from inside the house. Ooh, I'm going to need to take a bit more here. Alright, so here's something that I didn't know really anything about. So I'm going to read it out, what they say. So this is arrows and crafting menu. Just before starting to play Wurm Online, I remember spamming out spindles for a friend. They could sack them for favor with his Vin Priest. This was on Wurm Unlimited and before the cooking update, where spindles were pretty much the meta for Vin Priests. Each time I went to press my push to talk in the comms to say something to my friend, all they could hear was rampant clicking with my mouse. So they asked, like, why are you doing this? The guys in the comms were confused. He said that I have to keep queuing up the spindle action, and they were confused because, of course, on here you could just queue up as many as you're able to. I'm able to do 6 here, so I'm able to queue up to 6. So this was the guy learning that you could do that in the crafting window. And now, before the crafting window came out, we had optimized, we've figured out the best way to queue up actions without having to click each one over and over and over again, right? Which is kind of, I guess, obsolete with the crafting window. So before, if I wanted to create queue up 6 things at a time, but only want to click one thing, I would probably, let's say, combine all of this mortar, activate the mortar, then right click a stack of 6 items, and then create the whatever spindles or whatever out of that. And that's how we used to do it. So when I click here, it would just queue up all like the first 6. Now they switched it so that it's this little bar here. So if I wanted to put, what was it, wood and like a carving knife, I would have to click this all the way up, or these arrows, which is the most, this is the least, and this is one at a time. And I usually do 6, but sometimes I'll do 5, depending on the stamina that it takes to do each action. Yeah, but that's pretty much what it is. We were able to do it before, and now the crafting window essentially took over and made what we learned obsolete.
The last one is a cute one. It's that
Mm-hmm.
this person didn't know that tool belts had some use.
Yeah.
Like it, yeah. Although I don't know, like that one I totally love. That was one thing I love about this game. Like tool belt was a progress that you could feel. You know, I really love the feel of progression in this game.
Yeah.
Something to work towards. It was great.
I'm not sure if we ever didn't know that tool belts had, you would get more slots as the level of the tool belt gets higher. I feel like we always did, but
What's
at the same
back
time,
what's this wall
let's just do walls.
Walls all around. Okay.
This side anyway.
All right. So, lots of people submitted a bunch that they thought were good, and I was like blown away by a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
So down like a few threads, McLovin says that you don't really need a compass in this game. That there's several ways to determine which way you're going. So one way is if you type /weather, you'll get like a report about which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah, coming from the northwest.
Yeah, and if there's clouds, the clouds will be blowing in the direction of the wind.
Oh.
Now, it doesn't work right now because there's no clouds. But he says that if there's no clouds, you can set a fire, and the smoke will blow in the direction of the wind.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
And I think another one is, I'm not sure if it's in the post actually, I just thought of this myself, was that flags blow in the direction of the wind as well.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're on a deed with like a bunch of flags, you can
do /weather and then place the flag down.
Right, you can hold the flag in your inventory and just like. So instead of using a compass,
that's ways northwest.
But another one as well is I think that you can look at a deed token, and on the deed token is the little compass pointing in the direction of north.
Oh yeah, really? That thing always points to north?
Yeah, you place it down and like there's a little compass that points north.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm too far away.
And there's one final one actually. I'm just seeing it here.
Yeah.
Is that if it's nighttime, you can watch the direction that the stars are moving in because they move from north to south.
Oh yeah.
We can do that now because we can see.
So that way.
They move very slowly. But yeah.
So that this is south.
Yep. Which way are you
Yeah.
painting? Yeah, that way south.
That way south. I mean, I see it south because of my compass, but I see them very slowly, almost like a pixel or two at a time, just heading that way. That's kind of
And
cool.
finally, there's one other way.
Really?
If you're on a boat and there's no clouds, you can watch the water because it floats in the direction of the wind.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like
That's
all of these
interesting.
things, I didn't know a lot of these. I knew some of them, but
So why don't we just throw away our compasses?
they do have a benefit.
No, but
for sure.
but in all seriousness, that's saying that if you didn't have a compass, or you
Yeah.
threw it away and you wanted to, like, you know, go
I've
out into the
definitely been-
wilderness,
I've definitely been without a compass before.
yeah, that's a great way of doing it.
But also, I've been in a situation where I didn't want to stop to running away from something.
Oh,
And I was getting lost because I didn't know which way I was going, but I didn't want to stop. So
right.
if I did a slash weather and looked up at the sky, I could probably figure it out.
Yeah. As long as you have some time, there's actually a way to do this stuff. So it's actually pretty cool, the fact that there's all these little things in Worm that never
Yeah.
really pay attention to.
That's one thing I love about this is that you could go for so long playing this game and all of a sudden read something that tells you like a new way of doing something that you've been doing totally different. And it's like way more efficient. And yeah.
There were these aha moments for us throughout playing Worm, and I don't know. There was one of the big ones for me. There was actually a couple of them, but one of them was when we learned that you could put bags inside of other bags. That this was a thing, and we just started dumping like satchels or I don't know, backpacks inside of other bags, and then we learned that and apparently this was a like a bug of some kind, but you could put more unfinished bags inside of bags and then complete them inside of those bags and get fit like a ton.
Yeah.
Like we fit how many? Like a ton of backpacks inside of like other backpacks.
Yeah. It's like this is like remnants of the way it was
It
before.
doesn't happen anymore because
It doesn't
you
happen
can't.
anymore.
That's why you cannot create an unfinished bag.
But you know,
Can't
it's like
fit
one
it.
of those things that when we discovered it's like so it was such a precious thing. Like we knew the
So
value of it
crazy.
right away. And we're
Yeah.
like and people like coveted their fountain backpacks and things that were of those nature that were created and they're part of the game, and it was I don't know, part of the charm of the game back then. And then they patched it, and so those things became relics, and
Now you can still put bags inside of other bags. They just kind of
Yeah.
patched
there's a limit.
those crazy, the crazy amount where you could just
Like
put so
There-
much crap inside of bags.
there was a
but you
point
can still
where
do
we
it.
felt like it was just part of the game. Like there was no word from the devs that these were bugs. Everybody was selling them and buying them, and like there was no like indication that they were like against the rules or anything like that. And I remember we started like making a like around the time just before they cut it off. I didn't even
Yeah.
finish the things that I was making. Like I thought it was like part of the game, and then they come out and like they nerf it. They say that it was not intended that way, and
But
we're
you-
like, oh,
It was
Whoops.
we got a small magic chest, so we bought one, and then we realized you could put 20. Was it 20 or 40? Either 20 or 40
No, it was 20 something. Yeah.
satchels inside of it. Doing it this way,
Maybe it was 40. I don't know. It was a lot.
We didn't get that high. we were
Yeah.
just learning the system at that point, and we got to like 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we still have that magic chest somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's enough. Like, all we needed it for was to put some food and stuff. It's kind of obsolete now because food kind of lasts forever and there's more than just meals.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it doesn't really hold that much because it holds only what fits in satchels, basically.
Yeah. We could do a window of some kind here, if you'd like.
Okay, so there's really
Oriole.
There's an Oriole, or there's a narrow window, or there's a window.
Oriole,
I wish there were
more,
more options for windows. Like maybe just a wide window would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, what was one of your, I don't know, revelations in this game?
Right. So one that I was like reminiscing about was when I learned that you can, while you're embarked on a boat, you can right click a tile that is pretty distant away and disembark. And it sort of like jumps you a little bit, like allows you to like teleport it maybe a couple tiles away.
This was insane. And we learned this during a time where we were recording videos, and we were like blown away in one of our videos about this. And I'll just show for people that didn't watch that and don't know what we're talking about. Let's say you're embarked on a boat, and we always would just right click the boat or the wagon or whatever and just say disembark, and it puts you down basically right where you are. And if you're on a boat, then that puts you into the water, and then we would always have to climb out the water, and then
climb out all the time.
All of a sudden, one of our friends
so many times I would like disembark. I'd be in the water and I would have no stamina because I forgot to regenerate my stamina, so I had to embark back on the boat.
So here we are. Our friend's like, "Why are you in the water?" We're like, that this is just how it is. Like we don't know. And all of a sudden we realized, well, you can just click anywhere. So let's say I want to be on this tile over there, and I can right click and say disembark, and all of a sudden I'm all the way on that tile, standing there, instead of in the water or wherever I would be. Just like you can embark from a tile or two away. That was that was the best.
Do you have one that you think back on? And
like, I mean, other than the bags, there was just small ones, stuff that I think a lot of the things that we learned was just in the first, let's say, year of playing. We learned a lot, and there was just a bunch of crazy moments of revelation, just crazy aha moments. Terraforming was one of them.
Yep.
And it's one of them, I think, for everybody. It's one that we could all...
the first one. Yeah.
Where you're just like, I don't fully understand how it works. I see that there's like a border and there's a number on the border, but we don't really know how it works. Like 4 slope. And then I was always trying to, I think what I was always trying to do was when I was digging, I thought that I was bringing up and down the tile. Right?
Yeah.
I thought I would stand there and I would be like bringing down
like
the
you're
tile
talking about like
middle.
The first moment that you started digging and you're trying to dig.
Yeah, this is what I thought was happening. I didn't know any different. And it took a long time before I realized, no, it's the tile corner that you're bringing up and down.
Yeah, and it was longer for me because you were the one who explained it to me. And it took me a while. You, like, even while you were trying to explain it, it was like, whoa, this is really hard to understand.
Yeah, and this game is just all about that, all about learning tons of things, and it just, if you do it, then you'll learn it, and you'll be like, oh wow, that's crazy. If you never really do it, you never really learn it. There's no real reason for you to know it, and it just comes down to the fact that every single system in this game is quite a bit different than the other systems. So just because you learn how to mine doesn't mean that you all of a sudden know how to do the other harvesting skills. Just because you know how to blacksmith doesn't mean you really know how to, leather work.
Right.
You just sort of kind of have to do it and learn the ins and outs of all that stuff. And
there's some transferable skills, like after you first learn how to imp stuff.
For sure. But there's always those things that you just have to know, like making lye, or the difference between blacksmithing and going and needing to be next to a forge and having the freedom inside of to do whatever you want with with carpentry, for example.
I'm gonna put a window here.
All right.
One of the first things that struck me, like one of the very first things about this game that struck me, was that when you were walking uphill, you walk slower.
That's like the first thing that you learn in this game. In the tutorial. Right, it was in the old tutorial.
In the old tutorial, yeah. One of the first things. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, because I hadn't played a game that was like that before.
That's true. Yeah, EverQuest was never really like that.
Yeah. Neither was World of Warcraft. It was like you would just walk up the hill, and if you couldn't walk up the hill, it was because there was a invisible wall there.
It was kind of crazy. I remember when you told me about that. And
wait a minute. I kind of meant to put a door there.
That's okay. You can put a door there.
It's okay to put a door here.
I remember you told me about that, and it was like, I don't know. I could tell how excited you were.
Yeah.
Because at the time we were playing Star Wars or something, the Old Republic, right. And that game just came out. And it kind of sucked you in to the rest of the game. And I mean, you're still here.
Yeah.
So does that mean that we could safely say that climbing in the tutorial is what made you continue playing?
It was definitely what got me hooked. It was one of the first things that got me hooked. Like I was bought in at that simple thing.
That's so funny. All right, I'm gonna finish up this door. How much more pottery we got? Quite a bit. I don't know, so that's pretty much what we thought of, and there was tons of stuff on that forum post. We can't say it all, but we would love to hear what you guys think in our comments. You can make a comment in the Patreon site or on YouTube, and we'll definitely read them. But I for sure, everyone has their own moments.
There was one more thing that happened. It used to be called the 10 things that blew my mind.
Yeah.
And one got removed. And
What?
Yeah, it's like you can see the controversy in the thread if you read through it.
Oh.
And I don't know what it was. But apparently it was removed because it was considered to be an exploit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You never know, right? You never know.
I know that. And then that brought up that whole controversy of, well, how do we know if it's an exploit if there's no mention of it? And I do something and it seems like I could do it. And it's like, whoa, I could do it this way. Remember mooring ropes? How you were able to lead 4 animals with mooring ropes?
Yeah.
And people for the longest time, just hush, don't tell anybody, but you can lead 4 animals with a mooring rope.
Or being able to put multiple BSPs on one tile.
Right. But there's a lot of them.
Blew our minds when we started.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like
you're just allowed to do that now, right? like
Yeah,
up to
they allow
like
you
15 or something. But
right.
but when we started, it was like one BSB on a tile.
Yeah, that was like a
And
limit, a hard limit. You couldn't like you
yeah,
put a BSB down and you couldn't put another BSB down. It's similar how beds are.
yeah.
Like if you right, you can't put two beds down on the same tile. But there was like some way that you could get them on the same tile.
You could
And I
like
remember
place it down in a specific spot on the tile
like we would walk into some other
next to a
person's like
wall.
house and they had like 10 BSBs spread across two tiles and you're like, "Huh. How did you do that?"
Yeah.
They would tell you of this like crazy way of figuring out.
And we never knew
I
it
don't
was an exploit. We just knew that it
know.
was in the game.
Yeah, you're able to do it.
Yeah.
Well, we tried and it worked.
So
But yeah,
randomly, what do you think about the new thing where you won't have rain inside of a house? That's kind of
that's
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah, it's the first time we've been able to talk about that.
Oh,
I wish it was
amazing.
raining right now.
Right. Totally. You know, when I restarted up on Wurm Unlimited for a little while there, I really noticed it. Like I was like doing the whole survival thing again, and I was like I don't know. You really noticed it, and I'm really like happy. I remember it was one of the things that we brought up
Hmm.
in a previous episode when we were talking about the new rendering system and what it could do, and we were speculating. And it's amazing that that's happened. Yeah.
Did we
I
ever
want to see it.
mention that we did get the Halloween shoulder pads? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Right.
Am I wearing them?
Yep. Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm wearing. Oh yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, we did actually get these on our own. Finally,
Took
I don't
so
know.
long. I don't know why,
We had
but
to go back several times,
yeah,
and we
Well,
still didn't get a troll mask.
we
We
did
killed
not
so
get
many
this troll
trolls.
mask. Ah,
I
well.
wonder what the odds were. Like it might have been, like I don't know. We must have killed.
Maybe it's for the better. Else I'd be wearing that mask like all the time. I just look like a troll.
Yeah, I know.
For the rest of my EverQuest days. For the rest of my Worm
Worm
days.
days.
It's so crazy. I would.
What are we doing
I'd be
next
a troll. There's gonna be a second level, I guess.
Are we gonna put a roof on the front here? Oh no way. How is this gonna work? We need to be able to fall off, right? So it needs to be a balcony, maybe.
Let me think about that.
Okay.
No, I think I know what to do, and I don't think we're going to need to fall off.
Okay.
But then the question is, can this porch, should it be a roof or should it be a floor so that we can use that portion as a hallway, as part of the house?
Oh, if it's gonna be part of the house, then it's gonna be like a squarish looking house.
All right. Just put
We could.
the roof. I don't think we'll need it.
You don't think we'll need it?
Yeah, there'll be tiny rooms, but what can you do?
Okay. If we don't need it, like I think 1x1 rooms are actually quaint. They're big enough. What,
Do we have
what am I
wooden?
making roof?
Do we have wood? Shingles?
We definitely have.
Somewhere.
We can cut. We can cut it.
We definitely can cut wood shingles. Yeah, I figured that we could. Does that mean
Not
we
like we
don't
can-
have them?
We do have planks.
I thought we had wood shingles. I was pretty sure we had some.
They're probably around somewhere. Do you want me to? I'll unload this wood crate, and you go find shingles because
Alright.
I think you're like take the wagon. Yeah, I think that there is somewhere.
Let's see where I can do. I mean, we did quite a
what do
bit
you
of the
think?
house. There's a second house, second level that we have to do, but that's pretty much it.
What do you think of Epic? Now that it's out and it's been around
All right. So
for a little bit.
what are people's that actually play Epic perception of it?
Like, here's the thing. It's very quiet on the front of what Epic is like. I'm not sure how many people are playing on there, I'll be honest. Is there a way to see, like, numbers?
I'm not. Yeah, I think there is. There used to be an easier way.
There is one thing that people are saying, and that's that they wish that Elevation got a reset.
You know what? When they were talking about resetting Elevation for the first time,
Right.
and they went through a number of different maps that they could create. And players had this idea, like the first thing they did was release this map that was all, I remember, kind of water.
Right.
And people did not like that at all.
Right.
They were like,
people did not like that idea.
Like you have to sail everywhere. Like
it almost felt like Xanadu with like a Xanadu size server with like, maybe it wasn't that big, but it felt like a huge server that was like islands. And each of the islands was like a whole, like a server unto itself.
So, of course, the next thing the devs do is they come back with this server that's basically just one central, like, landmass.
Right.
And everyone loved it. They're like, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Big landmass, you know,
I
lots of places that.
There was a lot of congratulations.
Yeah, a lot of congratulations going around. So, and I didn't think anything of it. I've never been to Elevation. I still have never been to Elevation. So when I heard people complain about the Elevation map, it was a big surprise to me because I thought that they hit the nail on the head. They made this perfect server that people in PvP would love, that they got this huge congratulations from all the PvP players at the time, and that it wasn't an issue anymore. And now
I'm not sure what happened though, because after
I
that,
I guess people started playing it and then realizing, maybe we shouldn't have congratulated this big epic.
Right. I don't know if
maybe the first one would have been better.
I mean, there's some people who are happy. They're saying that they like the flatness of the server, but other people are saying that it means that there's less vantage points. Like, you know, before you would build a city or a deed on the top of a big mountain, so that it makes it really hard for a raiding force to come in. Those sorts of things are. I'm sure those things are still there, but then there's like lots of flat land between. I don't know.
Here's the problem. I think at the time, the reason why people didn't like they had the option of bringing back the same server but just resetting it. Right. So why didn't they do that? Well, I think the argument at the time was, you know, if they did that, all the players that currently were playing still would know all the layout of that map, and you know, no one could compete with that. So, and then players said, oh yeah, that's true, let's not bring the same map back. It wasn't an option they wanted, and now it seems like that's the option they all want. Is it because time? Like,
I don't know.
Are those players still around? They're like, yes, let's bring it back, and I'll have the advantage over like all these new players that have never played on this one map.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm interested to try it out, and it might be something that I do in the future. But right now, it's like I'm super busy, and we're finishing this up, which is super taking a long time.
Yeah. We're definitely look, we got to build this house, and then we got to build another version of this house. Build a couple bridges, and then it's just all about the polishing, decorations, and the support beams. It's going to be all about the support beams
Right.
for a few weeks, that's for sure. God, I
Totally.
wish we had them already.
Right.
So that we
don't
could just
have
put them
the
in.
orders. I think we have. Yeah. We have to
Make
buy
some and buy some. I don't know what we're going to do. That's going to be another headache, but we're getting there. I can't wait for it to be done. I don't know. I think that's a pretty good spot to end. I just finished the wood roof on the back. We do have another level, but it's basically going to be the same sort of level as the top there, or as the bottom here. I'm not sure we're going to do pottery. Do you think it should be all pottery or maybe something different at the top?
Well,
I don't know.
mean,
What do you guys
maybe
think?
we could put. I think you did have your mindset on timber, and we could do timber on the top of that.
Maybe
if you like.
timber or just the regular wood. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
And as despair comes to attack me, I will say goodbye for another week. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back next week with hopefully another bonus video. And by the time we have another episode, I'm hoping that at least this house, if not another one, will be done and will be so much closer.
I just want to say thanks to Iberis for posting that, because that was actually that inspired like a lot of thought into the game for me anyway.
Yeah,
I really
so
like that post.
That's awesome. I'm sure we'll find another one too. So thank you everyone. We'll see you guys next episode. Take care everyone.